Lach and Coach Gus checking in for our 4-week mark of our Globo versus Functional Bodybuilding Challenge. So as of today, we are just coming into the end of our 5th week of the challenge, but we're going to talk about our scans from week 4.
Yep.
Not that much difference would have happened between now and then, but let's have a bit of a yarn about what's gone down, our findings, what was difficult, what's been super easy, and how we found our training programs, all that sort of stuff.
Cool. So with the scans so far, I found that, so I've gone from, I started day 1 at 96 kilos, and then I'm currently sitting at 102 kilos, just sort of fluctuating around that 102. Some days sort of going down to 101, some days it's like 102.5, so, but as we all know, like the body weight fluctuates and stuff each day. That's probably the main thing. Obviously a lot of that is body fat though. I've found that my muscle definition has really, I guess not suffered, like it's
we just had a pose off, it suffered.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't say I'm very lean at the moment. I went up to like almost 20% body fat, which is probably the highest I've been ever in my whole life.
Yeah.
So, which is fine though, like that's the goal obviously at the moment, like been sort of doing a bit of a, I guess you could call it a bulk, so just trying to punch in as much food as possible.
So you're in a surplus,
Yeah. What about yourself?
I actually had a little bit of a hiccup in mine, and it was completely on myself. I may have snuck away to Fraser Island for a week, and I did not much. So I think I trained once, drank a heap of beer and chased dingoes. So that was about it.
Got chased or chased?
No, chased, yeah. Chased heaps. Did heaps and stuff like that. Anyway, got one at home now. But so I had about a week off, and then obviously being away, we were just camping, cooking barbecues and stuff like that. So it was a little bit trickier to get my macros in, get my calories in. Between that little bit of like very minimal movement pretty much for a whole week, I ended up actually stripping a bit off midway through. However, pretty much all just dehydration. It was because I drank so much throughout the week, and it was like mid-30s and 100,000 million% humidity up there. It was just, I was pretty dry. So as soon as I got back into the feeds, got rehydrated, I literally put my weight straight back on. So that was pretty much bang on, which was good. So my results haven't been obviously as big as yours. What was I week 1? 90, about 90.5, and I'm currently hovering around the 94 kilo mark. For me, again, that body fat has gone up. So the first scan was the fattest I've ever been, so I'm now the fattest I've ever been. But I'm also the heaviest I have ever been as well. So I think back in 2016, I'd been at 94 kilos as well. And I'm around that now. So that's, I don't know, pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
It's been pretty exciting to kind of see what you can do when you completely pull out all of your conditioning and have a toy around with things. Yeah.
What's been for you, like what's been the biggest shift, I guess, being, like you said, such a high body fat percentage compared to normal?
Oh man, like when it comes to training, I feel strong. Like when I'm moving an object, I feel incredibly powerful. However, when I'm moving my own body as the object, like in gymnastics work or anything like that, I'm not having a good time. I haven't bothered upping either any of my weights in my strict movements purely because I'm slowly climbing in body weight anyway, so I'm just counting that as my slow increase every week. But I feel super strong. I'm definitely losing conditioning at a rapid pace, and all small amounts of conditioning are really knocking me around a little bit, but I guess that comes with the territory and it kind of is what it is, but it's pretty fun. Like it's just a completely different realm. Yeah,
totally.
What about yourself? How's training feeling?
Well, I haven't been doing any gymnastics obviously. It's been purely just weights every single
session. Can you
session.
even do a pull-up still?
I haven't even tried it. I've actually got pull-ups in my program.
Yeah.
With some pretty gnarly eccentrics, but I've got to use the assisted machine now.
Yeah.
Which has been a big change because I'm obviously used to doing bodyweight pull-ups.
Yeah.
Just on the pull-up bar, but now I'm using the machine. So it's been a bit of a change.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But other than that, like every time I've got bench press, I'm the same, just feeling super strong. I guess because I'm a lot heavier, it's a lot easier to move a lot more mass as well. So yeah, it's been pretty wicked in that sense because naturally I'm not a strong dude. I'm a lot more endurance.
But still, your muscular endurance is pretty awesome. Like you went and did the EPS testing last night.
Yep.
And managed to get, well, the third highest score. Then you beat the record, then Harps and Ed both beat you.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like obviously still your muscle endurance is still quite high as well.
Yep.
So you haven't lost too much of that. It would just be that aerobic capacity that would be
for sure
heavily hindered.
Yeah, definitely. And as we were talking about before, you know, little things like my heart rate, I always find it's slightly higher.
Yeah,
just because I'm obviously carrying a lot more fat. My resting heart rate's not as low.
The stairs to get up here. It's came off.
Hands on the knees.
Yeah. Get to the office.
It's been some interesting shifts.
Yeah.
Which have been cool.
So going forward, what's it look like for me? Pretty much the same as it has the first 4 weeks. I'm going to stick here for 4 to 5 more weeks. I'm just going to play around, hopefully not allowing my body fat to creep up too much. If it does, I might have to start my cut a little earlier. However, I know I did say at the start that I wanted to, I was going to stay away from strength goals. But I've got some pretty cool strength stuff in my program, and because I am so heavy, I want to kind of like test some numbers. So I'm going to definitely, I think around about, just before I do start cutting some body fat, I'm going to start playing around with some heavy lifts. So I might try like a 160 clean or something like that. Something cool that I've never even done or thought about before. Might see if I can conventional deadlift my own body weight. I suck at conventional deadlifts. Just something fun like that. Power cleans are staying in my program pretty frequently, so it would be nice to see if I can, well, even if it's not a super heavy squat clean, maybe like a 140 to 150 power clean would be pretty sick. So,
what did you power clean like the other day?
I was doing doubles at 130 with a 4-second eccentric to my knee, which is equal PB.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
That was awful. I was using straps. I was strapped in.
But still, to have enough power to shift that weight though.
That's
cool.
No, I was pretty stoked. I was very content with that.
Yeah.
But like I said, for the next 4 weeks, pretty much exactly the same as what I'm doing as far as nutrition goes. Training is going to be pretty much the same as well. I'm in a slightly different phase, but really minimal shifts, just some different exercise selection.
Yep.
And then from there we'll start a cut. I'm working with a guy who's been on stage a few times. He's going to help me do a cut at the end. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty aggressive. He just told me not to be a pussy and get around it. So we'll see how much I can handle. Because I've actually never really had to cut properly for anything, like strip body fat. I've done some small water cuts and stuff like that for Olympic lifting competitions, but I've never actually done like a body fat cut. So this will be a first for me. So I'm pretty excited to see how much I can dry out towards the end.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you? What's it look like going forward?
Yeah, so the plan was to do, as we said from the start, probably the last 2 or 3 weeks of a cut, but just seeing the results so far.
The body fat's getting up there.
Yeah. And I think it's a bit unrealistic sitting here now and knowing what my body fat percentage is to get as low as I want to get. Like, to give myself 3 weeks, it's probably just a little bit unrealistic.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I'm going to have to start that a little bit earlier. So obviously this is the week 4 check-in, but we're really coming to end of week 5, so I'm going to have to start probably starting on Monday.
So around at the halfway mark, you're already starting to pull. What does a bit of cutting look like?
Yeah.
Like what adjustments do you make to your? I know you've made one adjustment already to your macros.
Yeah.
You're at 4,500 now, down
to 4,000.
You're down to 4,000 now.
Yep.
And then going forward, are you keeping it at 4 and modifying your splits, or what's going on?
Yeah. So I'll continue every week. I'll pull 200 calories off each week. That'll be mainly through probably 70% carbs and then last 30% fat, and I'll keep my protein super high.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
So I'll continue to do that 200 calories, and then probably when I get to say the last 3 weeks, I'm going to do the same. Just probably get pretty aggressive with the cut and take a fair bit more off. But I feel like from the research that I've done, majority of people when they cut, they just manipulate their nutrition. Whether they don't really, I guess, focus on the conditioning side as much, but that's why.
Well, that's a common myth, isn't it? Like, conditioning doesn't make you leaner.
Yeah.
Really got nothing to do with it. Yeah.
I guess it burns more calories though, so...
Initially, yeah, of course, but not long term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to jack that up a little bit, and because I'm doing Globo, I can only use the treadmill. So...
You got a troop former in there, man. You can do your thing.
Yeah, I could use that. But I've just been like hooking into the treadie. But as I said, because my heart rate gets up so fast and it feels so crap, I usually just walk on the treadmill for like 20 30 minutes, and that burns a few calories.
You use the stepper?
No.
The World Trade Center has like, I think it's like 1,800 steps or something.
So pretty good idea. Just fly
yeah, just throw on a potty and jump on the stepper and get some calories done.
Alright. It's probably a good idea. Yeah. But yeah, like that's how it's going to look. 200 calories most likely initially, and then sort of see how the body weight's going. If I can see it start to drop away, sweet. If it's not, I'll just have to just keep pulling them down and just sort of work week by week.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously we're only allowed to do scans every 4 weeks, but that's a good thing with using your scales. We can just
check in
every
make
single
sure
day.
Things are on track as far as body weight goes. I mean, obviously for you, well, obviously this is probably one of our findings, and for those following along at home, our findings will be obviously like for you, you're going to be able to put on more mass than I am purely because of the way you are doing it. Mm-hmm. The goal here is purely to show like that you can do it both ways, and essentially what the outcome is going to look like. Because Gus, you are going to have to spend longer, 5 to 6 weeks, cutting and doing all that sort of stuff with your nutrition, whereas I won't necessarily have to do that until a little bit later on.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what the end goal is, because at the moment you're increasing. You're probably eating a little more consistently than I am as well.
Yeah.
You're increasing a lot faster than I am. But I'm definitely not stacking on as much body fat as you are.
Well, nah, yeah, exactly. Like I'm having like 6 to 7 meals at like so I'm eating a meal every 2 hours basically. Yeah. And it's a fair meal.
Okay. Yeah, I've definitely seen like the ones you're hooking into. They're like the 1.5 litre containers, full.
Yeah.
Bottle of water, just sit there for half an hour and get it down, boys.
Just washing it down.
Yeah. We are pretty lucky too. Like we do have a bunch of our members on board. And the staff at reception. Everyone knows that we are doing this bodybuilding challenge, so if we have snacks that are delivered, like Harps had a client who worked in a bakery and brought him in like pies and pasties and stuff, and Harps is cutting weight at the moment, he couldn't eat that, so he's brought it out to us and we got down with it. Yeah. Another few members even bring treats in for us.
So good.
Get it done. So
rum balls.
Yeah, rum balls. Healthy, of course.
Yeah. Protein balls.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll do another check-in at around about the 8-week mark.
Yep.
Go from there, and I think that'll be about where we both start. Or you might be a couple of weeks into a cut, but we'll both start hooking in around that point, and we'll see how the body's feeling. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, team.
Bye.